welcome to the Wife Life Today show. I am coming to you live with Sabrina, aka Sam. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey. So we are here with another one of our juicy topics for our wives today. We just want to thank you for tuning in. We have a
Of
great show for
course.
you today. We're going to be talking about Menagatois.
Woo!
Right.
Yeah.
Woohoo. So have you ever participated in a menage a trois? Have you and your husband talked about it? Is this something that is on the list of things to do, that couple's bucket list? Well,
Right.
today we are going to be talking to our guest who was the trois in the menage a trois. So from her perspective, we're going to hear what it was like for her, from her perspective, to be in the couple's bedroom. What went on from her perspective? Was it a good thing for couples? Was it a bad thing for couples? How did she get involved with this? And is it something that you might be interested in? All right. So without further ado, let's just get right on into it. So, Sylvia from Anaheim, California. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's really great to be a guest here.
Well, thank you so much. So Sam, did you want to start off asking her a question?
Sure. Again, thank you so much, Sylvia, for participating. And we appreciate you being willing to share your experiences with us and the
Of
audience.
course.
So my first question, I'm just going to dive right in. So how does it happen? Do they reach out to you? Do you meet them at, I've heard of those swinger clubs, or how, like, what's the appropriate term?
Well, actually, for me, I went to the Adult Finder. It's called adultfinder.com,
Hmm.
and that was the main website I went to. And
Oh,
there you can go through a list and you see the pictures of the different couples, and from there you decide which one you're interested in, and then you
oh,
click on there and you say, "Hi, hello, my name is such and such," and or you get a person um, from their side, and they'll get in contact with you and say, "Hi, I'm whatchamacallit. How are you doing? Are you interested in us? Do we look good to you?" And they'll send more pictures if you ask for more pictures.
Wow.
okay.
So
Wow.
couples
Yeah.
are really like vying for your attention.
Exactly. I got couples and a lot of men.
Wow.
So the
Wow.
first thing that I wanted to try was a couple because I wanted to, especially experience being with a woman. So
Uh-huh.
I was looking for couples, and I found a couple of them that I could have chosen, and one of them especially stuck out to me. It was the
Okay.
wife that reached out to me.
So
Oh,
how do you
nice.
pick them? How do you decide who you're going to pick?
I personally go by looks. I'm really like vain, so
Well, that's
I
what all
go by
women
looks.
need to
If
start
your
with.
face is nice and you have a body and you have a butt, then I'm really into it.
Right.
So that's how I choose people. I just by features and body type.
So it really doesn't
Okay.
matter if you're like, I like long walks on the beach,
Yes.
I like you don't really care about all that.
No, they're like less F.
Right, right. So, what
Wow.
kind of couples reach out to you? Do you get primarily African American couples, Caucasian couples, Hispanic, Asian, or mixed couples?
I've got them all except
Okay.
Indian and mixed couples.
Okay, nice.
Wow.
So then after they reach out to you or you reach out to them, what happens? Do you guys meet in like at Starbucks or something on neutral
Right.
grounds? And
Exactly.
okay,
That's how it works. Like you pick the area. It's totally normal. So no one will know. It's like friends, hanging out like the
yeah,
show Friends. So normally you can my place of choice was a Starbucks that I would meet people out, or a coffee house, and then the couple will come and everyone's nervous because it's the first time we're meeting somebody, so everybody
right.
has the jitters, and then you just sit there, and first the conversation is how are you doing? Where are you from? What do you do for work? Just different basic normal conversations that
Okay.
anyone would have
So are you
while
trying to
they're
like make
checking out.
Are you
I'm
trying to make sure
sorry.
they're not killers? Are you trying to? I mean, I'm all about avoiding the killer because, like that new movie, Sin City, or that new program where the couple is killing people. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, how do you make sure that they're not killers?
Well, they
you
got to make
know,
sure she's not the killer.
Right.
right.
Like, you're the killer. You could be the killer.
Right?
Honestly, I never thought of that. I was very reckless, very reckless. I never even thought that I could be injured. If anything, I wanted to injure them sexually.
Oh my God.
I love it. I love it. So,
Yes.
so okay, so you guys get past the fluff conversation, right?
Hmm.
So then, do you guys have more in-depth conversation? Do you decide when you're going to meet? Does it normally happen the same day? Is it a few days later, a week later? And then do they say, well, we want to do role playing? How does it all work?
Well, first, we talk about, we say, are you interested? And then they'll say, are you interested? And then, it'll go from there. Most couples are normally interested because they just want to have sex. So they're just
Right.
like, sure, let's go down that path. And then we pick out a date because a lot of these people have children.
Hmm.
So it's kind of hard, to pick out the date. Normally, you start on the weekend, and if you're really good and you really like the people, you're more dangerous and you do it throughout the week.
Wow.
So
Okay.
after you pick the date and the time, then that's when you um, get it going. Like that's
Okay.
when
Wow.
you prepare to have sex with these people.
So
Wow.
is that cool? I mean, is that code for, let's do it? Are you interested? Is that like code in that
Right.
arena?
This saying, are you interested? Or you can tell by the look in their eyes, like if
Okay.
they're hugging
Yep.
each other and giving each other the look, like
Body
Oh,
language.
like yeah, we
everything
like
is
her.
nodded at
We
each
like her.
other.
We can
Exactly.
do some things.
If there's acting sexual towards me, I
Yeah.
know that they want to have sex with me.
Awesome.
So
So is
that's
it awkward? Like, what if it doesn't go well? What do they do? I mean, is it like, okay, well, I'll take the check now? I mean, check please. I mean, what is
no,
it? With
I never had that happen, so I
I
can't
know
answer that.
God, man.
Okay. So that leads me to this question, Sylvia. Do they pay you for it, or is it just free and everybody's just having a good time? I mean, what you get out of it is your orgasm. Is that your payment?
Well, a part of my language, but they're fucking for free. So you
Okay.
get nothing from that. If they
Okay.
they can pay you, but most people don't go in that
Right.
area, to pay. Um,
Yep.
Even in
Because
my
that crosses.
massages side, they didn't
Hmm.
pay for it.
So what's in it
Okay.
for you? What's really in it for you? If somebody was is contemplating doing this or bringing someone into their bedroom with their husband, what was in it for you?
For me, it was like maybe 50% sex, and the other part was just being dangerous and being with new people that you've never been with, pushing the boundaries of what you
Okay.
can do, get the taste and the feeling of somebody that you don't even know. That's like a high.
Hmm. So
So
tell us. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Sam.
no, go ahead.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
But this
fine.
is so interesting, and thank you again for just being so open and honest with us because this is fascinating.
It is awesome.
So what made you get into this? How did you get into this?
Well, honestly, it started with the breakup of our first boyfriend, and we were off and on for 3 years, and then I met another guy, his and he was my second boyfriend, and he was really kinky, and I was like, oh my God, he would watch a lot of porn, and he would get into really extreme stuff, and he was on the same website that I was on because we did other sexual type of things. So he got me into it. When we broke up, I was really heartbroken. So
Hmm.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to take control. This time,
Uh,
I'm not going to just go out and wait for a guy to date me. I'm going to have sex with as many people I can have. I'm going to experience all these different things, and I'm going to be in charge.
Yeah, well, there you go. There it is.
Wow.
So here's another question for you, Sylvia. So let's say you go through the act with this couple. Did you ever have a time where maybe the husband or the wife would reach out to you to have a private session with you by themselves?
That happened all the time. And
Wow.
that was the problem because the first, the second couple I was with, they got to the point that they wanted to marry me. And they,
Wow.
they
Excuse
wanted to
my
marry
language,
me,
but you
but the
must be
wife,
doing the dang thing.
What? I get lessons.
I think I'm just crazy. So that's why they like me. I'm willing to do everything.
Hmm.
So, the problem was the wife kept going back and forth because he wanted to have sex with me all the time, more than his wife, and it became a conflict. So the marriage, and I even contemplated marriage to people. That's how crazy I was. We were gonna build a house together and feed
Hey,
and live
Hey.
work.
together. But I find that a lot. And what I also find is if you don't get with a strong enough couple, the man is going to go to you most of all. And the woman is going to end up getting jealous. That's
Mm.
normally how it happens. They say that they can deal
Handle it.
with it, but
Yeah.
after a while, when they know that the men are trying to meet, just by themselves or solo, then that's when you get the
Mm.
problems.
Okay.
Wow. So how do they find out? Do you tell them, or is that one of the
Hmm.
rules? Is that a rule with this kind of arrangement, or are there no rules? Are there specific guidelines that everybody knows about?
Well, for me, I was honest from the get-go. I didn't try to deceive or try to make it seem like um, I just wanted the couple, but was really going after the husband. So that's how I was. Now, there's a lot of people that make it seem like, I'm down for this and I'm down to be a couple. And then while you're having sex, then the man is all on the new girl and not on the woman. And I've had that happen several times, and it was the most embarrassing thing. Or I have times when the guy left me out and he was with his wife more. So it
Hmm.
just depends, what happens during sex.
Okay. So, like, what do you do in those cases? Do you just kind of roll with it, or does she kind of pull you in? Or if it was flipped, do you pull her in? If he was focusing on one of you more than the other?
Well, I had one Hispanic couple, and at one point he was really good in bed, and at one point he went to his wife, and they were just like, and like doing all that stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, I have to jump in at one point because that dick is good. So I just
Okay.
like I started eating the girl's pussy, and then
Yeah.
from then on, I jumped into the guy, and I kind of like wiggled my way into it.
There you
Oh,
go.
wait a minute, is this PG-13?
Get
It's
in where you
fine.
fit in.
Yes,
You're fine.
you're
No, you're
fine.
fine.
Okay.
No, you got to get in where you fit in, right? I'm
Were
not
they
mad at you.
okay with that? Were they okay with you sort of, intervening?
They didn't really care. It was just like a clusterfuck. They didn't really care. So,
Okay.
if the woman was down for it,
Yes.
then now I did have a time. My very first person that I had sex with was a black couple,
Hmm.
and the woman was like gorgeous, and I didn't think she'd be interested in me, but she reached out to me, and we were supposed to have our little sex thing together.
Hmm.
It was my first time being with a woman, so I was nervous. I met her husband,
Hmm.
so we were just gonna have our little sexual party and discover each other's bodies. When I got to their house, the husband, while we were like kissing and everything, the husband busts in the room. He's naked, and he's like, now he starts fucking his wife.
Uh-huh.
And then after he does that, he comes to me, and I'm like sucking his dick. And I
Uh-huh.
really shouldn't have did that, but I was so mad because they had that plan. They had
Oh,
that plan all along to bring the man in. So
Hmm. Sneaky.
wow.
I don't like surprises like that.
Right.
I feel
Exactly.
like they
Right.
broke the rules of it.
So you
Did you
didn't
ever
just
see them
do that.
again? Sorry, Kat.
She
No, no,
kept
it's okay.
wanting to hook up again, but I kept feeling, what if the husband's gonna come in and try to have sex with me again?
Well, did
And
you
Yeah.
did you confront her? I would have been like, B, look.
Okay.
You try me. Oh yeah.
No, because I didn't confront her because she was really good looking, and I was like, well, maybe if we try again, but I just was still scared.
Sylvia, let me tell you, girl, no, ma'am, you should not have been scared. You got to
Okay.
stand your ground.
That's right.
I
They were
should have,
in
right?
violation. Violation.
Well, that was the
It
first
really
time, I
was.
guess, so
Yeah.
maybe it was kind of like so but doing it that first time didn't stop you from doing it again. It was
Right.
like,
No,
right?
it
So,
actually made me to pursue it more because it was like an adrenaline high.
mhm.
So I
Okay.
was just like, okay, what race of couples am I gonna do next?
Right.
And for the longest, it was like white, and then um, it went back to black, and then it went to Mexican. Well, they were like Puerto Rican, and like with the Puerto Rican couple, we got to their house. They served me dinner. We just talked normal stuff about their kids and everything like that.
Mhm.
Then after we finished eating, we just went upstairs to their room. So it's really normal. It's not like we bust into the room and we're just all over each other and the sex just starts and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want to know about my other sexual experiences because I had a lot of guys I slept with also, and I
Yeah.
had a lot of people that they wanted me to do weird things to them, like spank them and whoop them.
Oh
So
my
Oh,
God.
wow.
Wow.
That is deep. Girl, that's a whole nother
Were these
show.
husbands? Were these husbands?
the men that I went with the couples,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, they mostly were. They were married. The last guy that I talked to, the wife just said, this is your playgirl, so you can have her. I don't want to be a part. And she was Asian, and I wanted her so bad because I hadn't had an Asian, and I
Right.
was so mad. But she was at first she was gonna do it, and then she said that she was jealous, so I never had to have sex with her. But her husband, I still talk to him to this day.
Wow.
Wow.
I have
Now, is the
sex with
husband
him all
Asian?
the time. It's
You
been
have?
like almost 2 years.
Wow.
Wow.
So, okay, maybe I didn't hear you right. So, you had sex with him all the time, you said?
Yeah, that's what it turned out to be.
Okay.
We turned out to be sexual partners, and we would go out
Okay.
to, he has money, so we would go out to dinner and take me to these nice places. And it was really cool. And he actually, at one point, I stopped talking to him. That was when I was trying to be really good and not
Right.
throw that lifestyle away. And
Yeah.
he just messaged me back now,
Oh,
because he's just
wow.
trying to weasel back in.
Right, right. Now, was he Asian or black or
He
Caucasian?
was white.
He was
Okay.
white.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
let me ask you this. So from the standpoint of wives who may be thinking about engaging in this kind of, relationship with
Hmm.
their husbands, maybe a one-time thing, or they think it's going to be one time. What's your take on couples who say it's just a one-time thing? It's just to kind of spice it up. Do you find that it's ever a one-time thing, or does it always turn into something more long-term?
Most of my second one that I was into, the second couple, they were like 2 or 3 times. And then the Hispanic couple was 2 or 3 times. But normally, for me, I only had like one time it was just to do it, so it wasn't multiple times. It could have been, but I guess we both didn't want to do it again. So it
Mhm.
just depends. Like the sex would be good,
Mhm.
but other than the contact, they would keep in contact with me, but we never had. We talked about other sessions, but we just never did it.
So let me ask you this: was this protected sex? Did the wives or the husbands, did anybody like insist on protected sex, or did anybody just, or did they seem to be more comfortable without that because the spouse was there?
Every person that I had sex with, the man was always protected. However, the women never were.
Right.
Mm.
So I was still putting myself at risk, but at that time I didn't think about it.
Right.
I
Mhm.
just wanted
Mhm.
to dive straight in, but the guys were all protected. Now the only other one is the guy that I've been going out with for almost 2 years.
Mhm.
I sleep with him without a condom because he can't have kids.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And you've
Even
had
though I'm
all
still
those,
taking a rest, but it's just how it
right,
is.
right. But you've had all those conversations. Is that a normal conversation when you meet a couple that you all have? Is who's been tested? Is anyone like HIV positive or anything like that?
Nope, I never did. So
Okay.
I just, as long as you wore a condom, it was fine with me. And
Okay.
again, that went to my reckless part because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care about that.
Okay.
That wasn't the forefront in my mind.
So let
So
me.
what would you,
Mhm.
go ahead.
No,
Sorry,
no, no.
Kat.
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead. We're just like
Well,
peppering you with questions. It's so
so
interesting. Go ahead, Sam.
I was just going to ask kind of what Kat was saying a few minutes ago, playing off of that. What advice or what suggestion would you have for wives if, let's say, they want to try it and maybe don't know how to bring it up to their husband, or if their husband brings it up to them?
I would say the first thing that you need to do is look at a lot of porn that has first it has three people and then one that has just women.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because if you get an adverse reaction, or if the husband or she starts getting jealous of someone on the screen, it's going to be jealousy when they happen in
Right.
person.
That's a
Okay.
great
And then
point.
and then
Yeah.
the second thing is if she says it's okay and you start having sex, if at any time she wants to have more sex with her husband and kind of is blocking you off, you have to know that she's getting to the point that she doesn't feel comfortable in having this and she wants to go back on there. But in my opinion, um, you don't know until you do it. I mean, you
Okay.
just don't know. It's just a toss up. You don't know how the woman's going to be. And they might be fine when you meet them,
Right.
and they might be totally like, yeah, and yeah, I want you, and you're this, and you're that, and I can't
Right.
imagine not having fun with you. But it'll get to the point that you just see it. It didn't happen a lot.
Hmm.
It really didn't happen a lot with me,
Mm-hmm.
but I just know that other instances it can happen.
Okay. So, do you spend the night, or have you had times when you woke up and you're still there, or have you woke up and they're arguing about maybe he was paying too much attention to you?
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I have never woke up with someone arguing. That would be really, really weird. But I wouldn't want to touch that one. But
Right.
and the only people who I slept with and they spent the night over were the men that I slept with individually. I never woke up
Okay.
and went to bed with a couple. Now, there were times that I was so drunk that I had to sleep over for like 3 extra hours, but I still went home.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So is this something that now let me ask you this. I mean, have you been a wife before? Have you been on the other end of that?
No, because I've never. My husband was just not that type of man. If I
Okay.
asked him to do it, he would just shut it down.
So you
Then my
have been
first,
married before.
right, for
Okay.
6 years.
And was this
Okay.
something that you asked him to do or did it come up? How did it come up?
No, because during that period, I was really jealous. So if he would have brought it up, I would have like punched the daylights out of him. He would have just been gone in 60 seconds. You know what I mean? So that wasn't going to
Right.
happen. But and then my first boyfriend that was after my husband, he wasn't really kinky, with things, and he would make me jealous because we'd go off and on. So he never suggested another girl. The only
Okay.
one who suggested it was John, my third boyfriend. He
Mm-hmm.
was the one who suggested it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So it's kind
And
of interesting. It kind of flip-flopped, right? So on the
Hmm.
one end, when you were on the wife end, you were like, "Oh no, boo, it's not going down." Right? But then when you're on the other side of it, it was like, okay, you're down with it. So,
Exactly. So I can understand from their perspective
mhm.
and also from my perspective. So I get it for both ends. I can understand how they might feel, especially if the husband wants to do it again as a couple or by himself. the wife is thinking probably, okay, why does he want to have sex with her again? Or why do
Right.
we have to do it again as a couple? We only wanted to do it one time, so, you know.
So I
Well,
guess you kind of have to check your motives, right? If you're a wife, you have to check why you're
Exactly.
really doing this. Are you doing this to test your husband? Like, this isn't like something you want to do if you're
don't
just
play with
testing.
fire.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And what I find with that question in mind is that um, I don't know, the women that are, want to test their husband and see if they're in testing the waters to see
Yeah.
if this is something they really do. I mean, they're going to end up at the end of the day do it because their husband is pressuring them to do it.
Mm,
Because that's what I find. All the guys will be into it, and then they're like, I'll ask them and I'll say, is your wife ready or can she handle it? And unless the wife talks to me and gets on board with me, then I
Yeah.
feel that she might be a little skeptical and not want to do it.
right.
Okay.
So is it, oh, I'm sorry, Sam.
No, go ahead. Go ahead,
But
Kat.
is it kind of like you have to get the woman's buy-in first? Like, is that kind of
Right.
like the prerequisite to let you know if it's going to go well?
Me personally, I always do. I try to make the wife
Yeah.
comfortable as much as I can, because I want to have sex with her too. And if she's not comfortable with me, then it's gonna be downhill the first time you take your clothes off. It's just not gonna
Okay.
be good.
Right,
Okay.
right. So they both have to. So clearly it seems like you're bisexual, right?
I call myself bisexual when I was going through that. I don't call myself bisexual any longer.
So does the
Okay.
wife have to be bisexual? I mean, how does that work? I mean, is the wife kind of bisexual, or the wife is completely heterosexual, or do you find that the wife has to be a sort of a little bit over that pendulum swing, has to swing to the bisexual end a little bit in order to be down with this, or does it matter?
Well, there's an at the adultfinder.com, there's a way you can search and it says, but for individual couples, we're bisexual, we're heterosexual, and this is what we want, this is what we don't want, this is what we participate in, this is what we don't participate in. So you can narrow it down to what your
Oh,
tastes are.
wow.
So if you only want heterosexual people, meaning they might want to try it one time just to see how it is, you can do that. If you want like all only women, if you want two guys and a woman, you can look through that through the
Oh,
search.
wow.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it's not really that you don't know what they're into.
Okay. Is there a button for first timers?
It's not a bun for first timers. They normally tell you that it's for
Okay.
first
Okay.
time. Sometimes I wonder if they are lying about that. Because
Right.
I've had people that tell me it's their first time, and then they're like, rocking my boat. I'm like, ooh, you ain't first time, you liar.
That is very interesting. I just wonder, like with wives, what is the feeling? And have you ever, and I guess where I'm going with this is, have you ever had a conversation with a wife afterwards and kind of share your thoughts or feelings about how things went or anything like that?
Um, the only couple was the one, I'm trying to remember the ones I had sex with. Um, the only ones that I can remember was the couple that wanted to marry me. We actually friended ourselves on Facebook. I went to their church together. You know, we did stuff together. We went to lunch together. They would come over. We would watch movies together. So that was that main couple that they would spend it. The first time they got there, they spent the night at my house. They bought their little suitcases and stuff, so they were ready.
That
Right?
is so interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they wanted like a polygamy situation, or I
Right,
mean,
that's what they wanted. They told me that's what they wanted, and I was like, "Sure, let's
of
do
course, why
it."
not?
Oh no, I was out. Tell you, when I was down for anything, I was down for anything. Nothing was taboo.
Right. That's quite interesting. This is awesome, Sylvia. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You said that you're not doing it anymore. Tell us
Right.
why.
Well, it got to the point that the number of men I was sleeping with and the number of people I was sleeping with got to be really long, and I started thinking to myself, if I'm going to do this, let me just stick to one person. I can't keep this lifestyle up because either something's going to happen, I'm doing it recklessly, I might get an STD, and you know, I don't want to deal with either the woman being jealous or the man just putting the woman in the position that she's jealous. So I decided to stop, and I stuck with one person only, and that's the one that lasted for 2 years. But
Okay.
I had an epiphany,
Hmm.
and when I had epiphany, I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to have sex with someone else's man? You know, am I ready for this? So I really went and questioned my roots, and I started to think I wanted to go more in a spiritual lifestyle. So
Oh,
that's what
wow.
kind of changed me.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's nice. So it's been about 2 years for you?
No, it's been like a year and about
Okay.
a year that I haven't had sex with anybody.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was it was a long it was not easy. And like if I meet up with this guy again, I can't promise that my feelings won't arise again,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
but I'm willing to take that leap and just see what's going on in his life because I do want to see him. We were friends, so
Right.
I
Yeah.
do want to see him again.
Friends with benefits.
Lots of benefits. So I
Yes.
so I guess kind of like in wrapping everything up, just give us talk to our audience's wives. So talk to the wife. Tell us, tell her if you're thinking about this, what you should be thinking about, what you should do, and if you're determined to go through with it, what's the best way to do it?
Okay, well, that's a great question. First thing I would want the woman to be is to have high confidence because this is something you can't go in with mediocre confidence. You have to have, you know, your own personality to the point that if your man left you, you can do without him. So that meant if a man spent more attention on another woman, you wouldn't be threatened because of your confidence level. The next thing I would suggest is if you're really into it, again, watch a lot of porn to make sure that this is what you want to do. And then have that conversation with your husband. Sit him down and say, because I always think it should be the woman's point of what she wants to do. So you sit him down and say, honey, this is something I've been wanting to do, and kind of get a feel because some men might be really angry. Some men doesn't like to share. And some men might think at that point, is she going to cheat on me now because I
Hmm.
have these feelings? So that's another point. And the last thing is when you want to really do it and you came to that, part that you're going to do it, really, really at this point, I would suggest doing some type of backup test if you can. Don't just do like I did and dive into it.
Mm,
Do give it like a week or two just to
okay.
feel those people out because it is your body. And like you
Yeah.
said, you don't want to have STDs or anything else. You don't want to have stalkers. So you want
Right.
to make sure that you're being protected and protecting yourself and your surroundings that you're in. And
Mhm.
that's the best thing I can tell you in regards to what a woman should do. And at the end of the day, it's just sex.
Mhm.
Right.
It should be
Mhm.
no attachment. It's just sex.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, should this
Okay.
be a stranger sex or should this be somebody that you know? I mean, should this be, somebody completely a stranger or maybe it's somebody should be close to you so that you feel more comfortable? I mean, what do you think?
I vote for stranger. I vote for
Right.
stranger.
Yeah, I'm
I
all about
prefer that
stranger
it be a
danger.
stranger because
Stranger danger.
I personally prefer a stranger, like you guys said, because friendships can be broken over this.
Yes.
And then you always wonder, like, were they looking at me before, or was he attracted before? And it just doesn't work out because what if the husband is smaller than the other guy and he's like,
Right.
oh, wait a minute, can I please his wife and stuff like that? So I wouldn't definitely not recommend it. And then if you have like little accidents during sex, like you pee on somebody or something like that happens, or you poop on somebody, I'm telling you, these things happen. It's real out on the streets. It's
What?
real. You can just get away with it and never see that couple again.
Okay,
Right.
right,
Trust me,
right.
it's happened. Not, well, okay, let's leave it as
Well, yeah, I
that.
think that would be weird though at Thanksgiving. Be like, oh wait, she did poop on my leg.
Right?
You know? Yeah, that would be weird.
And you can tell them what type of sex you don't want. So if you put it in the bar, you can tell them exactly. Do I do anal? Do I only, do I only want to have sex with the wife? And you watch. So there's different aspects of it that you can do. It's not just one straight category.
All right, so it's kind of like a smorgasbord. I mean, you can just pick like
Exactly. It's like
potatoes
dining in at
or asparagus.
McDonald's.
Right? Yeah,
Right.
that is awesome. I've learned something new today. So
I have
thank you,
learned a
Sophia.
lot today.
Right?
Well,
A
thank
lot.
you. No, it's been my pleasure. If you want any other questions to ask me in the future about my other lifestyle, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Well, we are so appreciative. And as a matter of fact, for our audience who's listening today, we're going to invite Sylvia back for a live session so that you can live tweet with Sylvia. And perhaps there are some questions that you didn't quite get answered today. We
Right?
can get it through that Twitter session. So definitely make sure that you subscribe to our newsletter, subscribe to our podcast. Definitely like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and you'll get the most up-to-date information so that you don't miss out. We definitely want to bring Sylvia back and definitely answer any questions that maybe we didn't answer today. So
That's right.
we just want to thank you again, Sylvia, for your open, honest discussion.
Oh, I love you guys. Mwah.
Thank
Yes, and I'm sure that
you.
you've helped a lot of wives today. I know you've helped me.
Right? Me too. Me too.
Okay, all
And
right.
I want to tell them too, Kat, don't forget to
Yeah,
go to our website, www.wifelifetoday.com,
that's
and
right.
go to the shop section. There
Yeah,
might be some saucy things in there that you could wear for your man.
that's right. And if you decide to do that menage a trois, we have some great items in there for
Yes.
you that'll help you make the most of it. So
Yes.
thanks so much for that reminder, Sam. All right, so thank you so much, Wives. We look forward to your comments. Put your comments below. We definitely
Yes.
want to hear from you. Hear what you
Hello.
think about this session. Email us, write
Tell
us
us.
back, tweet us, whatever you want to do. We'll be sure to get back with you. Okay, so thank you so much. Everybody have an awesome wife life today.
That's
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye bye.